Hey guys, Spud here, as always. Today we have a recording of another one-on-one training session with one of my students. And I'll tell you, I've never had a student take to DCS or flying faster than Tillman here. It's actually really incredible to watch him. So this is a shortish clip of us going over the basics of using the AGM-88 harm in the SEAD role, and then subsequently pressing home the attack and destroying the enemy air defenses with our laser-guided bombs, so that way they can't just wheel up a new radar, connect the cables, and presto, they're ready to go to start shooting at jets again. This is of course combining SEAD and DAD into a single aircraft. In this lesson, I also elected to keep my LGBs on board my jet and go over an introduction to buddy lasing as well, with the most simple kind of buddy lasing you can do, just simply flying in formation with your partner jet that's going to be lasing your bombs for you. I think you guys will agree that Tillman is a heck of a student and is really getting the hang of the DCS F A-18C Hornet very quickly. Keep in mind guys, I do one-on-one training as a perk for all of my patrons who support my channel with $15 or more. So big thanks to all you guys out there who help make my channel worth the time and effort that I really put into it. It is a passion, but you know, it does take a lot of time and effort on my part to make that passion come true. And all of your guys' support in that is always extremely helpful. So thank you guys, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. And then just quickly set up your laser codes for your bombs.
Use instant code 1688.
And then press step and make sure that you get your code in and the fusing in for your other laser guided bomb. You should see 1688 in the little box below both of your bombs. Looks like you're good to go.
Yep.
Beautiful. And we'll fly to waypoint 1. Waypoint 1 is our IP now, by the way. I deleted the waypoint 1 from the last go around.
Waypoint 1 is where we're going?
Yep.
Yep.
And then I would go ahead and open up that essay page again so we can see where that essay 2 is.
Yep.
Nice.
We're at 15,000. A little higher.
That's okay. But you can see in that last attempt, right, where if your situational awareness isn't super awesome, like you can die really quick.
Oh yeah.
And the clouds, right, will degrade that situational awareness even more because you're just like, what's happening again? Because you can't see it.
Do I have to do anything for the harms again?
Yeah, so we just need to go harm TOO mode for target of opportunity mode, and then set it as the sensor of interest whenever you're ready. Then we'll select the site that we want to engage.
So waypoint 2 is where we're looking now?
Yeah, so if you want to fly just direct waypoint 2, we can.
Okay.
And waypoint 2 is going to be our target point.
Okay. Got the S now.
Nice. So that's the search radar down there. It's called a PR-19. A little bit easier to see. We can already see Sirabu Nair Island. And make sure to set that point as your target point as well.
Yep.
And once you have it set as your target, then we can just pop our FLIR right onto it.
Target, FLIR.
And this time we'll pay closer attention to our SA page, so that way we can see, you know, once we get in that threat ring, then we know we gotta be very careful. And if we hear that tone, especially the launch tone, then we want to start those evasive maneuvers.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, we were in a pretty close formation, and usually if I'm that close to you, I'll also get the launch tone even if the missile isn't fired at me. So that was interesting that I didn't get that.
Ah. So am I all locked up, ready to shoot, basically?
Yeah, you are ready to go. If you pull the trigger, I'm sorry, not the trigger, but press the stores, stores release button, you will fire that harm at that at the radar you have locked up. So the difference here is
beep.
Yeah. So the difference here though is the search radar and the SA2 fan song radar are located on top of each other. So now, okay, so see how the symbol changed? It's like a 2 and an S on top of each other now?
I still just see an S.
Okay. Well, I've got the 2 as well. So they're kind of, well, if you look at it closely, it looks like there's a 2 and an S kind of on top of each other. It's kind of weird looking, but essentially now we have the SA2 fan song is now looking at us as well, which means that they're getting ready to launch. So we just have to be careful as we get closer and closer to the threat ring on our SA page.
Yep.
So because we already had the search radar locked up, and the search radar isn't what's going to kill us, it's the fan song, go ahead and press the RAID FOV button once to actually select the second radar that popped up, which is going to be the SA2 fan song. And then once you have that, cage uncage. And when you cage uncage, it only displays the radar you have locked up, which should be the 2.
That might have been... Yep, that's why I had already uncaged it. That's why it wasn't showing up.
Yep.
Okay.
So hit cage uncage again.
Oh,
there
get
you
the
go.
beeps. Get the beeps.
Yep, so that's the... that is the lock warning, not the launch warning.
Yep.
So with that, we're only 25 miles out, so go ahead and hit fire your first Magnum.
Yep.
There it goes. And go defensive. So hard 90-degree right-hand turn, and I'm going to keep coming in on it and bait the missile to fire. And when it fires, I'm going to fire my harm, and we'll hopefully kill it on the first pass here.
No more beeps.
Yep, and turn on your music, your ECM if you'd like, and that way you can break that lock. So he's definitely going after me now because I'm still nose on to him.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to launch. Got my targeting pod right on top of him. I see him when he fires. So we're working as a team here. Your harm is coming at him. The SAM site operator can probably see your harm, and he's like, well, fuck, I'm screwed either way because this Hornet that's coming at me. There we go, there's the launch. I see the missile shooting at me. I'm going to fire my Magnum.
Yep.
Music's on. And because I'm close to him, he's going to try and kill me. There's the second SAM is fired at me. Oh boy, those are some big SAMs. So I'm running away at this point.
I think he has 3 after you.
Yeah. So I'm running away. So see how I'm kind of serpentining away from them? Making them turn as much as possible. And your harm should be pretty close to impacting at this point, which is what we want.
3, 2, 1.
Boom. Nice shot. Then my harm, it looks like it impacted pretty shortly after yours there. And so, boom. No more SAM site.
Nice.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So now at this point, we can go drop our laser-guided bombs on it.
Yep.
So the SAM site's blinded, now it's time to go kill it. So I'm gonna see if I can find you again. We'll get into formation.
Oh, pretty far away.
Yeah, to be expected for sure. So you can start to turn around now and head back towards our point. Were you looking at the SAM site at all in your targeting pod through that evolution?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I had it locked up pretty much most of the way until I blocked it with my own plane.
Yeah, that'll happen. Alright, I see it visually now. Okay, so once we get our nose back onto the SAM site, we'll go ahead and deselect our harms because we don't need that second one, and we'll reselect our Mark 83 LGs, or GPU 16 I should call them. And you can do basically, just for practice, if when you're on your own, you can do exactly what we just did with a single jet. You just have to be a little bit more careful about it, is all.
Stay on target a little longer, and oops.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. So zoom in your targeting pod there with your RAID FOV button as well as your radar elevation controls. Put your crosshairs on top of one of the SAM launchers or the search radar, and then we'll attack it with some LGBs.
These little guys, I think?
Move it up a little bit. Go back to TV mode, and that'll probably help. There you go. So see the missiles?
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So put that little dot in the middle of those, like, little weird crosshairs. Yeah.
And then just leave it there? Do I have to select it again?
Yeah, you want to go TDC depress, which I believe was punching in one of the sticks.
I can't tell if it's doing it or not.
If you have that symbology, then you should be good to go.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. So now, basically, you're all set up and ready to go. You just want to fly on that fall line.
Yep.
And then as soon as you get that horizontal line on the fall line start to fall down towards your velocity vector, press and hold your store as release button to authorize the dropping of the weapon. And then your targeting pod will automatically start to laze the target 15 seconds from impact.
Have to do anything with these switches over here? The
you're
LTDR?
Right. Yep, good call, for sure. We need to make sure that we need that armed.
Yep.
Alright. So far we're looking good. 25 seconds to release.
Yep.
I'm in formation with you in a nice combat spread off your left wing. You got plenty of room to maneuver if you need to.
And fall line.
Press and hold.
Release.
Nice separation from the weapon.
Okay. So now I just watch the laser and make sure it's still on target.
Yep, so just fly this current heading and make sure it's still on target. If you need to sweeten up the picture, no problem. I'm just watching the same launchers you are so I can see your impact as soon as it does. Nice, good impact. That's definitely one dead launcher. So now all you got to do is fly, 15, 20 miles away from the target and acquire a new one, and then you'll be good to go.
Longer with the laser guided ones? Not the like 10 to 12?
It's really up to you. It's whatever
Okay. How much
whatever you
time
feel
you
is
need.
best. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's a personal thing rather than a equipment limitation.
Okay. And then do I have to like rearm it down here too?
Yep, sure do.
But then everything else is set up.
Yep. Because we already set up the second bomb, so that's good to go.
Yeah. So then I just find a new target on it with the targeting pod and drop it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So pretty cool. It feels nice to kill SAM sites with laser-guided bombs. It's like
yeah,
that
it's nice to know how to do that.
Yeah, that giant freaking telephone pole shoots at us, and now we can go kill him.
These are pretty big boy bombs.
Yeah, 1,000-pounders for sure.
What's the biggest you can drop in DCS?
Off of a Hornet, a 2,000-pounder. Yeah, there's two flavors of. Well, actually, there's 4 different flavors of 2,000-pound bombs. You have GPS-guided JDAMs, as well as GPS-guided penetrator bombs, which will go deep into a bunker and explode in a bunker. And then you have laser-guided bunker penetrators, and then just regular laser-guided 2,000-pounders for a nice big explosion on ground level.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta turn back.
Alrighty.
Turn to the right.
Sounds good. Well, you notice, if you look on your wings, the Hornet is smart enough that it fired your right arm first, so it dropped your left bomb first, so that way the jet is somewhat balanced out, right?
That's nice.
Yeah. Alright, so once we drop your second bomb, we'll do something kind of cool here.
Yep.
I'm gonna have you buddy lays for my bombs.
Okay.
Did we do this yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. So laser-guided bombs are cool in that you don't have to laze your own bombs. So you can have somebody else laze them, which is kind of cool.
Some Top Gun stuff.
Exactly. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, they're using laser code 1688 in Top Gun. It's totally a DCS reference." And I was like, "No, that's just the default laser code for every targeting pod on the planet."
The pesky cloud in the way.
Yeah, so let's to get the cloud out of the way, let's cut it left 90 degrees, and then we'll get out of the way of the cloud.
Yep, left 90.
Yep. That was violent.
A little bit. Wasn't exactly 90.
That's okay. Whatever works to get us out of the way of that cloud is all. And that's where the HMDs really comes in handy, because you can just look out there and there we go. Now we're out of the way of the cloud.
Huh?
You have a target?
Yep.
Cool, let's go for it.
Turn back on it.
Roger. Nice, 10 seconds to release.
Drop it.
Nice, good separation. And your laser's armed, correct?
Yes.
Nice. So you should get the auto lays.
Time to impact. 5 seconds.
Nice. It's always like a half a heartbeat after the impact. There we go.
There you go. Nice.
So you're like, oh shit, I missed.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna have you switch your laser designator code to 1687 for my bombs. So on your pod page, go ahead and select the UFC button.
Pod page over here.
Yes. Yep. Then on your ODU, you now have LTDC and LSTC. For the LTDC, for the laser target designator,
I think I just have an LSTC.
Try turning up their brightness a bit. Oh, it's because you're not armed anymore. Go ahead and arm the laser.
Oh. Yep.
Cool. Now switch over the LTDC to 1687.
Okay.
And beautiful. That's what we want. And so now you're going to be shining the laser code for my bombs, which is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually release my bombs by flying in formation with you. Actually, this isn't going to work because you don't have the bombs left, so you won't get the symbology. Anyway, let's see. We'll make it work. I'll just drop it in auto mode and in the general vicinity of the target, and that should work just fine. No problem. What I was going to have you do is count off the release to the bomb, but because you don't have the bombs left to give you the actual symbology to tell me that, then we won't be able to do that. But that's fine. I'll just drop it in auto mode in the general vicinity, and then your laser will put it into the target that you want.
Yep.
So when you're ready, just go ahead and make that turn, and you'll select a new target.
Oh. So what are these like random one beeps?
Random what's?
One beeps that I'm hearing on the.
Does it kind of sound like a doo-doo-doo kind of sound?
It's just a dude.
So that's usually a new radar contact that your RWR is picking up.
Okay.
Yep. Those little chirps is just like your RWR is like, hey, I'm seeing something new.
I do remember hearing it like when the dogfights, when the MiGs show up on radar.
Yeah. Alright, so I'll try to get back into formation with you here. So on your pod page, there is a button labeled Trig. Do you see that?
Yep.
So that's going to slave. Sorry, trying to fly and talk. That's going to slave your trigger, your gun trigger, to your laser. And so because your pod is not going to auto laze because you're not dropping a bomb, you're going to have to manually squeeze the trigger to laze for my bombs, if that makes sense.
That trigger will be main trigger or the weapon release one?
Main trigger.
Okay.
Like you're firing your gun.
Yeah.
So let's come about 3 degrees to the right.
Yep.
We got 45 seconds to release.
Yep.
Just another 2 degrees to the right.
Yep.
Nice. Right there. That heading should be good. Now, your heading isn't as important as mine because I just have to get the bomb online. And then, as long as you don't mask your pod, then you'll be good. Do you have a new target set?
Yep.
Cool. I'll tell you when to sparkle the laser.
And that's just holding trigger.
Yep, just hold the trigger. 5 seconds to release. And weapon released.
Up.
And sparkle.
Sparkle. It's flashing.
Beautiful, that's what we want. Just keep holding it all the way until impact. Alright, should impact now.
Nice.
Nice shot. Teamwork.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool, right? And so this is like the easiest version of it, right? Where we're just flying right next to each other. Now, let's say we're going after a target like a building where we want to put the target, want to put the bomb into like the 3rd floor, second to the left window in the building, right? Mm-hmm. What we would do is I would fly in front of you by a couple miles, and then I would drop my bomb, and you would shine the laser on the front of the building because you're behind me. And so then the bomb will track the laser right into the front of the building. You know,
get the
things like
better
that.
angle on it.
Exactly, right? Because the bomb will follow the laser wherever the laser is pointing. And if we want it to hit the front of the building, then we would need the laser from behind me.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, we can do a thing where you'll just fly a nice circle around the battlefield and just laze targets at will. And then you'll have jets come in and drop their bombs, you know, in the general vicinity, and then your laser will track them into the target that you want it to hit.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways of doing it for different reasons.
Yeah. It's not always the, like, go-to thing to do, I would assume.
Yeah, it's not always it's usually better to laze yourself.
Yeah.
But for instance, like back in Desert Storm, so if you're trying to do like a, you know, like a Desert Storm period mission, like not all jets had their own targeting pods, so they had to buddy laze.
Okay.
Because targeting pods they are expensive, but they were even more expensive back in the 90s.
Is it another way to bring more bombs and missiles too?
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to, you know, I could carry one more AMRAM instead of carrying a targeting pod, so that way I could help defend you, and I'm just kind of like your extra magazine, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of things you can do with that, and once you know how to do it, then you can kind of mix things up more.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm ready to turn whenever you are.
You have more bombs to drop?
I've got one more. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, you do not need to rearm your laser after using the manual trigger to fire.
Armed still.
Beautiful. Then we're ready to rock and roll. Looks like the clouds are not going to be a problem for us.
Yeah, it's better angle.
Alright, we're right on line for the target.
You need a lot of bombs to take out, like, this assortment of SAMs.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why Sam's site is like a really soft target. So we could have taken, you know, 2 more little bombs apiece and would have been able to really decimate it.
Yeah.
Or we could have taken cluster bombs, and because they're such soft targets, one like little bomblet from a cluster bomb is gonna absolutely obliterate a SAM launcher. Rocket fuel goes boom pretty good.